All right, welcome back to another monthly recap. This month of October was actually one of the uniquest month I've ever experienced in my trading career. Uh, and relatively compared to Octobers in the past, generally speaking, it's a mix of craziness and slowness, but surprisingly, this month um, we had some crazy action, and yeah, glad to be back and doing this recap again. Uh, let's just dive into it right off the bat. We all know what happened with BYND, Beyond Meat. A really really garbage trash company with their dog food poison food that they produce, all the trashy ingredients in their burgers, an impossible burger, we all know that. uh, they back after after a massive drop from last year November till just a few weeks back. They were trading on 30 cents, 50 cents a share. The lowest was 50 cents. I actually know that 30 cents. And this is by far the best short setup uh, and the best shortest squeeze after the news of I think, what do they have? They announced their lockup restriction removed from their recent convertible notes, so that helps. And the meme era came in. I'm not sure what really went behind the meme thing in Reddit, whatever. There was a chatter. There was a chatter, and then this thing just went back to where it was last year, November, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, pretty much get on that massive surge of almost $8 and huge amount of volume. Crazy to see that, and a great opportunity. I mean, this thing was trading pure liquid. You could get your hands on shares to borrow easily, although some brokers end up not letting you borrow, even though this stock was a 400 million float, 6 billion. Well, not sorry. It was over 2 billion market cap, but now it's lower. Uh, so you could essentially just execute and grab on both sides, obviously on the short side, what I mean. And it could be the worst decision of your life if you really early on in this massive push and not be able to manage it. That's what basically happens for a lot of traders. They were short early, they took their loss, and then they reattacked as there was a clear sign, clear you know signals that shows of weakness and fading and all that aspects of it. Yeah, me personally, I was bearish on this stock since the day one. I did short this way before of this whole thing happened, and I covered my shares. I mean, I rotated before, covered so many shares back in, I think it was last year. I traded this, and it was sweet. Beyond Meat never went against me, at least. Happy on this one. But this whole gap up, I did not really anticipate to the push, to the long side, because I was very much hating this company. on fundamental level. At the fundamental level, this company had nothing to offer, and that actually create this mindset for me that I won't really see anything to touch on this. I mean, I kind of move on, and I took it really, funny enough, took a mini vacation during this whole 2 days of 3 days of craziness, and I'm back looking at this thing, surging back to $3, $4, and surprisingly caught my eyes. Like, I was talking about this 2 days ago, that stock's trading 50 cents, and now, squeeze happening. And I hadn't had access to trade, so I didn't want to trade, but I was just looking at it after I came back, and it was interesting. It was very good. So I waited for this thing to boil up, find this direction. Clearly, I also thought if the stock really break this $8, we could have seen that $2 range, additional $2 range to towards 11 at least. That was kind of my ideas behind it, but clearly that didn't happen. Stock really wasn't able to go that far. I mean, we had that $12 back in beginning of 24, so it's all-time high. But yeah, that didn't happen, and stock just tumbled, went on the backside, and backside move was clear. And I did anticipate few of my days actually focus on BYD. Unfortunately, I couldn't find shares on my broker all of a sudden, and then the next day shares were available. It was odd, usually when the stock is ETB, easy to borrow, you do not expect that much of a share to be overflown or borrowed, especially if it's a reputable broker that have a big inventory. You expect them to at least have a decent chunk for a stock with this market cap and ETB as well. Obviously, hard to borrow is a different scenario. So I was surprised on that. I was actually wanting to short more, but unfortunately I couldn't. So I had to wait another day. And next day setup was completely different. Everyone was kind of like looking for a bounce, although it was failure that did happen again. I think it was right around, one of my short was right around trading in that $5 range, and then if I'm not mistaken, right around this time, yes, one of these days, stock didn't really reverse back up, failed under VWAP, and it was trading really low on a gap down, and I was able to anticipate not to this bigger pullback, because I kind of skeptical that this thing can squeeze back up again. So I wanted to just take a piece out of it, basically just trade it a short amount of time as possible and just take something out of it. It didn't really hit me with the FOMO thing, although it at first I look at this, I was like, okay, so if this thing's back again to the range that I would anticipate short, but it's also scary. There's lots of volume rotation. There's lots of chatters behind it, and you want to give it more time to stretch that, rather things happen quickly. But in this case, it really happens quickly. Once it really hits that mark, it faded and it's just all gone. Everyone were piling on the short side of this, and we're winning. Not much of a buyer, no signs of buyers, and a bunch of back holders clearly afterwards. But usually when you see such a thing like this, you expect some sort of consolidation towards the next day or so, and you want this thing to continue, be the trend for at least few more days or another week, let's say, and then that the trend is dying, so no one's paying attention anymore. So yeah, and for me the idea was just step in and take something, whatever I can, out of this whole thing. And obviously for those that really anticipate on the huge backside of move and flush, congrats to them, and that was very nice. Back to wherever it was. So now Beyond Meat is in that territory of, is it going to reverse? All these back holders are going to buy it back, or shorts cover happens and all that stuff. But it is very slow, not much of a volume, and trading barcodely. So when the stock is really not getting much volume, it's just, after this whole thing, you really don't want to pay attention to it until there's a reversal sign, or there's a PR, there's a catalyst coming in, and then you might see some surge back again. Obviously, it is still worth watching to see if this thing can really break this range, consolidate, continue, fight, get on that $3-4 range, or if it's gonna go sour again back to 0.5 or less, and from there it's just a matter of time of delisting. That's what I was actually thinking about this whole BYND. I knew that they're kind of out of options. They have no chance of surviving unless if something happened, like the meme thing or whatever trend. That way they can make some money, and there's a lots of dilution on the place. So still they have warrants, not expired, many convertible notes at the money shelf. So they need money, they need cash, they need to survive, and it's only like 7.8 months of cash left. Things are not really good with them, and I don't think this company is really a good company. Generally speaking, they're really bad for environment too. So that's pretty much about BYND. I'm not gonna spend much time on it. It is just that if this thing's going to stay above the dollar and break through, or ultimately go down as it gets sour and get lower price range. So yeah, so that's that about my stuff for the month. I did, obviously the BYND was the main one. I ran this is one of my one of the stock that I've been battling with to find a clear direction, clear setup on it. But have I had any successful trade on it? Yes, I did. Have I failed on the trade? I did that too. It's just one of those stock that I think there are lots of potential towards the downside on this. I mean, these companies, the miners, crypto miners and AI kind of related to, it forms a bubble. So it gives me that mindset that I want to be early than late, but I also don't want to fight for the higher price. So I'll rather to wait on the sideline and see how it cooks, and sometimes just touch it and grab whatever it is. Like, so if there's an anticipation towards the first red day, I'll look into it. And obviously the overall market is very important as well. And we still on the, well, this is a side note, we're still in that government shutdown thing. Obviously that doesn't really affect anything. Last week we also had FOMC meeting and another cut, but nothing's really comes out of it. Obviously, it was just the last day of the month, so we should expect that for coming weeks to see what exactly happening with the market reactions and if any rotations ever happen. Oklo was also another one. Same setup, same type of mindset, different industry. But I do have the same mindset on it. The spread is huge. I battled with this a few times this month, and it wasn't nice actually. So I took a, not a huge loss on it, but battle with it. Decent loss on the Oklo trading. A bit early on the short side, and I was just keep going back and forth, shorting, covering, and just like all over the place, no clear direction, and then this thing was just like bouncing off. I think it was let's take a look. I did this on this is October 10th. So October 10th, this was the day that I was battling with. This was in the front side of the move. Clearly a wrong setup to be short. Stock was above all levels. It kept getting rejected to the new high and built that as resistance, and then pull back to the VWAP. Slightly goes, you see that little slippage in it, but it will bounce off very quickly. So I caught up into those on the short side, and then that kind of really caught me off guard and makes me frustrated to be sitting here and trading with a stock that is not in my range. Personally, I just saw an opportunity I wanted to take, and I thought I could really play around with this. Clearly not an option. I'll still have it on my watch list, but no touch, no interest anymore. Yeah, and that was that. I think we had, next one was GWH. GWH was also another successful call in our scanner that we caught this very early on, and great long trade. I went long on GWH a few times. That was very successful. Every single time I traded this stock was sweet. Even the time that it was really like dying off, wait for a reversal, dead cat bounce kind of setup, and still worked out well. Didn't want to short this. I wasn't really anticipating on that side. But yeah, GWH was also one of them. And we also have Quantum. Obviously, the Quantum wasn't my cup of tea, but a few of them had some gappers. Obviously, RGTI, IONQ, all these things that making noises, have no they have no value whatsoever. But I'm not here to really chime into what exactly behind their company. On the trade side, no go for sure. Definitely some great long opportunities. Clearly, higher price, not my cup of tea anymore. The only higher price that I like was obviously the Oklo and Iron. These two are far from other higher price for me, at least. I look at them differently. Then what we had many actually. Yeah, so I had NUAI. This was also I did not really do great on this one. I think NUAI also caught me. Mind you, the month of October, I was out pretty much 6, 7, maybe a week or so out of trading. Like I did not trade on several days. So yeah, considering those, a month was very slow for me, but end up green, smaller green obviously than compared to last October's that I had, but grateful for that. At least could end up green, less trade, more focus on better setups. Although I had some hiccups playing around with higher price like Oklo, but yeah, that was it pretty much. And NUAI was also another one. It's just I think it was an oil and gas whatever thing that it was. If I'm not mistaken, NUAI. Yes, it is an oil and gas energy stock. I did trade this. When was this? 27th actually. This is late October. Yeah, this is recent. 27th. I was trading this into the, pretty much under VWAP. I was shorting this, and the stock really bounced off on my short. Not ideal, and I hold it a little bit longer, but eventually covered it once I saw the revop roll happened on. I think it was I was short on 9:40, like 10 minutes after market open, and let me check again here. And then the next day, stock really went back lower. I was trading this right around $5. Yeah, this is the one. So I kind of got caught up into this 9:30 short. Is there any way that I can use the 1 hour maybe, or 5 minutes here? If I have to add the incrementals. All right, that's fine. Yeah, so there's no way I can go back. Maybe. All right, whatever. Yeah, so it was on this day, pretty much. 27 was 27 was it 27 was Friday, is it, was it, not sure exactly, but it was pretty much around the same range of $5. Yeah, I think I was short of $5, so it's definitely not this day. Nope, not this day. Yeah, somewhere in between here, perhaps. I think this is the one Monday, right? Okay, and then they make a new high. Oh yeah, that was the day. They made a new high. So this is the day, as a matter of fact. This was the day, stock pulled back, and it was dipping. So my idea was that, okay, this had already, the mistake that I made was, this is a multi-day runner. Yesterday made a breakout, new high, consolidation, pre-market, pullback. The mistake that I made was that I'm thinking this is a first red day. Pullback was strong, so I'm anticipating very late into the trade. Then just shorted into that $5, which is the natural support at this point. Me thinking I can get a gap down to 460. But clearly that didn't happen. 5, gap down. Try to battle it. Wait for it to boil in. If it's gonna get the rejection to the weave up, and it was just keep perking up. 540. I think the VWAP was at 550 or something. If I'm not mistaken, right here. Yeah, 560 something, and then I added battle, went over the VWAP, I covered, wait for the kind of see the confirmation if it's gonna roll, and it did roll, but I covered already. So that was kind of the loss on NUAI. And clearly, when making new high, higher than 6 I think 622 was the last part I saw, and then 671 by the end of the day, and still on the upper range. Once again, this is an oil and gas. I tend to not mess around with them. They really heavily rely on news and overall futures and markets. So rather not touch them anymore. And what else we got? We got HKD. HKD was nice. This was a great setup last Friday. Talk about this on I think I talked about this on the channel a little bit early. Obviously the setup for me, this was a little bit of looks like a gap and crap and in a pre-market, but then when I dive into more into the news, I see the strength. HKD, I did short this in the pre-market, gap, scalp, covered, took a profit. Then I look at the news. So, I mean, actually, I saw the news, and for me, this was just the fluff, whatever. And when I dive deep into the news, I look at them and it was a very interesting news. I think they had something in regards to where was there HKD. Yeah, AMTD Digital report half-year performance with 1,000 increase in revenue. So that's their company. So they had a really huge news on their revenue, which is a success, and whatever it was. And then a huge amount of volume just poured in. Clearly after the first hit, it was eventually became that gap and crap setup. This low hanging fruits kind, and then into the afternoon short was solid, but it wasn't a stop right there. I did anticipate at the kind of at the open, wanted to see this breakout, get back above that $3 range. Took that breakout and continuation more kind of sold earlier than I expected, but stock really gapped up. Huge push, mid float, 82 million Singapore stock. Not much of a dilution in place. Cash positive, so relatively a decent company to run out of nowhere. I mean, that is a huge gap. I mean, we're talking about, how much was it? 200% around there. So solid trade on HKD. Then I had, I think that was it. I mean, I have many other ones. CVU. There's another gap and crap. And then another, what was it? MNTS. I think this was another gap and crap as well. Not much. Yeah, pretty much it. Pretty much I had all these stocks traded early on, pre-market mostly, and one or two, I think have one afternoon trade, and the remaining was during the day. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the October recap. Obviously BYND will be the main would be on my watch list to look into it, and HKD as well. Not sure if these things can really continue, possibly we'll see the consolidation and then another gap down. This is coming to, I mean, this is for the coming week at least. And yeah, I will be looking at what else we have. I think we have VCIG. Oh yeah, I think this was another one. VCIG, APLD. You know, APLD is also higher price. I did took a scalp, but I was trading actually on my phone. I don't recommend anyone trade on the phone. Always be on your setup. On your desktop or laptop or something that you can have a better picture. You can visualize things. So yeah, this was another one on the long side. Consolidation, not relatively a bad setup. APLD. It's also a blockchain treasury kind garbage. I have so many warrants, ATMs, and shelf in place, but I think they're relatively trading in the higher range. I mean, obviously this level, it's choppy. You don't want to trade in between. You want to look for a bigger confirmation, better look. If you want to trade it along, obviously confirmation towards the upside. The range is very minimal, and the downside is absolutely insane. So be cautious when you're trading this type. So I know there's a lot of chatter about APLD. So yeah, that was it pretty much, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed this monthly recap. Once again, I tried to keep it short. I don't know how long this was. Yeah, well, that's good. 30 minutes, not bad. I hope you guys enjoyed it and ready for a new month of November. November usually gets busy. Be prepared. And also December is going to be the last month. So we're almost there. We're almost into the end of the year. Make sure to stay disciplined, plan your trades, journal, write it down, have Excel sheet, whatever, track it down, your trades, screenshot of your trades, review them, make sure you follow your plan, you follow your playbook, and do not really listen to all these garbage stuff out there, all the noise, all these gurus coming out saying stuff about, like, I don't know, future prop firms and all these offers, all this that. I mean, it's good. You get additional money off, obviously it's really great, but if you don't know how to manage it, you will blow up, you will have a hard time to recover and all that stuff. So yeah, so I hope you guys find a better strategy these days, and make sure to stick to it. Stick to few strategy. Don't try to learn everything at once. And yeah, stay safe out there and take care, team.